excited to welcome two of the most amazing choreographers, directors, and producers to Just Dance with Tina and Kelly on the Kelly Alexander Show. They have worked with everybody from Janet Jackson to Pink to Mariah Carey, Shania Twain, Madonna. The list goes on and on. RJ and Nick, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having us, Kelly and Tina.
I know, what a dynamic duo you two are. We're excited to talk with both of you today.
Amazing. So I'm going to just start with a quick question, which is, and I'm going to ask each of you. So I know, Nick, you and I, you've been on the show before, but like, when did you know that dance was going to be like your path in life?
Can we just take a moment? Because like RJ and I still geek out that we're talking with Tina Landon right now. Like, let's take a moment, because you know what? No matter where you are in your career or in your journey, you always know that initial inspiration that hit you and that made you want to do more and create more. And for someone like Tina, who's had a lasting impact, and Tina, you're still so referential in pop culture, in music videos, and what artists are still doing. It still comes back to so much of what you created in your body of work. And you're a Latina woman, I mean, who, you know, took the industry by storm and still is so incredible. So for us, it's just such an honor always to be even our names spoken in the same sentence as yours. And it's just like, we bow down to Tina Landon. Thank you.
I literally
thank you for being Tina. I was like, I have to just say, give Tina a shout out, because she just continues to inspire. And that's what's amazing about being an artist, is you create, right? You create what you create, and then you hope that even a fraction of it could live on. And the fact that Tina's work in so many venues has like continued to still be referenced to this day. It's like incredible, and what an accomplishment. And for us as creators, we're like, if we even have a moment of that, like what Tina's done with her work, you know, that's what keeps us inspired, honestly, as artists and creators. And as far as dance, I think we both came out of the womb, just like dance was all you know, when you're a dancer, that's all you want to do all the time, whether you go to classes or you don't have the luxury of being taken to a dance studio. You're born a dancer. And I think RJ and I both had that plight, just being born, and these two little gay boys that anytime music came on, we danced uncontrollably. And it was in our blood. And it was one of those things that if we weren't doing it, something felt wrong, or we didn't feel connected to, like, you know, you always hear your higher self. And so for us, dancing always connected us to our higher self and the things that we imagined or created in our heads, you know. While we were dancing.
That's like the happy place, right? Like when you're growing up, like you get to like escape through dance and express all the feelings and feel everything that you don't get to necessarily say to other people, or that you don't think anyone would understand. Like you get to go to that place. And I think Nick and I always did that, whether it was in the kitchen or the bathroom or at the dance studio. Like it was everywhere. I mean, I would even dance at school. Like if I thought nobody was looking and those hallways were open, I would be like, you know, because like it just had to come out. But like we all had those moments, right, where you're like, is anyone see me? I'm going off, you know, like we always loved it. But I do have to be honest, my mom had a dance studio in Michigan where I grew up. So I was also really fortunate, because like Nick and I talk about it, and every day after school, I got to walk from school to my mom's dance studio, and I got to spend as many hours there as I wanted to, and really take like any class that I wanted to. And so I was born into something that was really beautiful. And my mom had 6 kids. And she said, when I was born, she was like, this one's my dancer. And it's true. Like, I just always had to dance. It was just part of who I was. But I was really fortunate that way, that I had it like at my disposal, and that I got to do it as much as I wanted to, because I wanted to do it all the time, just like I think we all did, right? So that was pretty awesome. And to Nick's point, I have to tell you, Tina, that like right before we clicked the Zoom link, I was like, I can't believe we're talking to Tina Landon. Like, I was just like, oh my God, like I had that little like moment between the two of us. Just, it's like so true and like beautiful, and like full circle to get to, you know, just like talk about all things like dance and entertainment and just craft and creativity with you.
Oh, you guys are so sweet.
With both of you for sure. But really, that's how we got our start. We just always knew it. We were always both like gonna only be dancers. Like that was really it, right, Nick? Like,
no, that was it. And it's weird when you get to that phase in high school where you're filling out college applications and stuff, and then because it's a duality, you're like, okay, I could go to college, and then but then you have this vision of your dance life, and that does not include any of that, because you just want to go out and dance. And I won a scholarship to study at Tremaine. And that was the summer of the Janet album, Tina. And so I went to LA and I was in the classes, and I actually met Kelly Kono there because a lot of the Canadian kids were in my dance class, and I went over to someone's apartment, and all the dancers are hanging out in North Hollywood, and
You know how it is.
in walks Kelly Kono, and she puts this VHS. I mean, it was like a movie. She puts this VHS tape, and she's like, "I just did this music video." She puts a VHS tape in, and If starts playing, and I'm like, "What is happening right now?" I was like, "Oh my god!" So that was kind of the start of my time in LA, and just meeting people right off the bat.
But it is exciting when you get to LA because all of a sudden it's like your whole life you felt so far away from your dreams, or like how there's not like a clear path, or like how am I going to do that? And all of a sudden you're in LA and it's like 1 degree of separation. You're like, holy shit, like I am here, I'm in it. And so that feeling is pretty powerful. And like it's funny because we talk about those kind of moments still a lot, like about those things that like changed our life and really imprinted on us and really helped, I don't know, just continue to inspire us and drive us forward, because we're like, oh, those are the things we want to do. Like we want to be like that and do those things and, have those moments.
You said Kelly's apartment. It's like people don't understand, like dancers' apartments are usually more than one dancer. And then they're and then like everyone's sitting around lounging on the couch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Splits, stretching on the side, massaging each other. It's like this weird. I remember one time I was dating somebody who was like kind of out, like wasn't a dancer, and they're kind of just, because we just like lay all over each other.
Yeah.
Like normal. And so when you said that about Kelly, I immediately thought like, yeah, they're probably all just eating on the floor in the splits, watching, because that's just how it kind of always was.
That's
so just
exactly the theme.
A dancer's apartment is like nothing else.
It's a moment. It's like the music's playing, everyone's talking. It's like someone starts getting up and freestyling, or they're doing a routine they learned in class. That, I mean, it's a whole vibe, and I feel like that could still be its own television show.
And it's amazing because as dancers, like you're just waiting for an audition, so you all have time to hang out in the afternoon. Like when you wake up at 1, you can show up at the apartment at 3, and you can just veg there and hang out till you go out and have a quick bite to eat, and then to the club. So it's like a whole scene. You're so right, Tina.
So fun those days.
It is so fun.
Did you guys, Nick, when you saw the If video, did you know about Tina already at this point because of Rhythm Nation or other things?
Well, being from like a farm in Texas where I did not have MTV, I would always go to my friend's house to watch like the latest videos. So when I'm seeing this video, okay, of course I realize it's Janet, and then I'm just like my mouse on the floor, and then I'm like, she's in this video, and then Kelly is like, and this is Tina, the choreographer. So from that moment, like that, I was 17, and that locked in my mind, like, okay, Tina Landon choreographed this. It's incredible. I need to know everything about it. And as a dancer, you want to do, well, at least for us, we wanted to do our research. Yeah. So in that moment, I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, and I know Tice, because I'd taken his dance class before. So I kind of started putting the faces together. And again, it's like that degree of separation where suddenly you are around these people that you worship from music videos and MTV and all those exciting things.
That's so funny, because I think we've talked about this before, Kelly, where it's like, and I forget how much older I am than everybody else in the world, it seems like. But I love that you guys had the experience of just kind of wanting to dance at every moment. I mean, same thing for me. I grew up in the studio, but for me, it wasn't, I mean, it was a long time till fame came around, right? For me. So it was just like my thing was like, I just wanted to be on stage. So it was like, I joined like every talent show that there was. We didn't have, my studio wasn't a competing studio.
No.
And like even at the cheerleaders, we had like 4 cheerleaders, and we were doing like ANTLO, basic stuff. So for me, and really being in Lancaster, which is, an hour outside of LA, but it's a whole other world. It's like, I'm on the farm with you, Nick. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it is. Yeah, Lancaster for sure.
For me, it was the same thing. It's like I kind of started moving into LA, which was really intimidating because I didn't have a great Kelly Kono to like, hug me and walk me through. And there's some shady dancers out there.
It's intense.
It's a cutthroat.
For sure.
My era, it just felt like there was a lot of jaded dancers out there, and everybody was like just mad because videos were coming into play and that wasn't what they were used to. So there was like a a shift in the dance industry.
Yeah.
Paula was becoming very popular, and so a lot of her movement was a lot different than the Michael Peters, right, of the world, or
Yeah.
the world. So, and it was a whole, and it was like short dancers finally got hired. I was like, yes,
Yes.
this is my path. But it's really everybody's path is different, but the love for dance is really kind of just what like you gravitate towards, and it's almost like a magnet that just kind of pulls us all together, right? And we all kind of in the same place, but our journey getting there was different, and it's just our love for dance. And it's funny because I started so young, it just was a part of me. It was as equally a part of me as that I was Mexican. It's like I can't be Mexican, and I cannot be not a dance. Like I couldn't not dance. And no matter how many times I didn't want to go to class because I was lazy or I was tired, at the end of it all, my mom was like, well, then I'm not going to pay for these lessons. I'm like, well, I don't want to quit. I don't want to go today. But the thought of not doing it anymore was just weird.
Yeah,
so,
it's not an option.
No, you're right. It wasn't an option.
Yeah. And it's so funny because dance, it's an evolving, breathing entity. Like, because I know now it's like the generation of dancers, it's like now social media is a huge creative outlet. And what I love is that dance is embracing all shapes and sizes as we haven't really seen before. And so it's very exciting, just the evolution of it, and that it does always continue to find a way, for people. And now I feel like more people than ever have an outlet to dance, like with TikTok.
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible.
Pretty crazy. Yeah. I think back, like, would I? And I know I would. It's just silly.
Yeah, you know you'd be blowing up that TikTok.
You know you would.
Yes. Like every single day, all day long, just like these TikTok stars. Am I doing it now? No. But
that's neither.
If that was my outlet, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you were doing the music videos. And what's so incredible, Tina, I will say in your time is that Paula and Janet, I mean, there were only like Madonna and Whitney were maybe the other people that used dancers. So now I feel like so many more artists, but back then you got to work with who the best were and still are, but who the best were at that time, doing the best revolutionary music videos that introduced dance in a whole new way.
I mean, honestly, they just are, they continue to, but especially when we were younger, just such huge inspiration for us. Like, I mean, it's just
that's what made both of us want to live in LA for sure. Seeing the music videos, seeing the documentaries that featured dancers in a way that,
I mean, we learned If and did it in our recital. Like, I just know like all those moments were just such a big part of us, like just shaped who we are as dancers and what we're doing now. So thanks, Tina. Thanks, girl.
Tina, did you know, T, when you were like, were you able, because obviously you were in the Janet bubble, you know, obviously in 93 and even before that, but did you have a clue that you were influencing people like Nick and RJ? You know what I mean? Like, did you know at that time?
Not at all. I mean, you know, sometimes I can be very tunnel vision about me. Like, ooh, what am I doing today? What am I going to get today? Give me that. You know, it's just, and I think when and again, there wasn't a lot of that stuff going on. So it wasn't like I was home watching music videos that I wanted to do. I kind of started all that, right? Yeah. I started at the beginning of music videos. So, and I'm not saying that there weren't music videos that I didn't wish I was in or that I didn't wish I had created myself, but, no, I was always kind of looking ahead at like, and I think that's also a dancer's mentality in that, you know, that this job is going to end and then what? So hard to enjoy sometimes unless you know, your tour is going to go for 6 or 9 months. And even then anything.
But you have that little lapse of like, oh, I'm on tour, I have per diem, my room gets cleaned every day. So it gives you a little break from the hustle. And then you're like living your life on stage every night.
Yeah, so I wasn't consciously aware that I was actually, that what we were doing was inspiring others. Because I think we're just thinking about the day to day. We were thinking about, you know, for me, I was thinking about don't fall down on stage. Don't miss that head. You know, I was always thinking of the technical stuff that allow myself to think that what we were doing was was inspiring, unless, and then you get to talk to people after the show and you hear them, but it still for some reason didn't click for a long time. I think I was just kind of in like this weird bubble of not even understanding what I was doing because I'd never seen a music tour before. I think I saw Prince early on, but that was different,
Yeah, it's a different kind of tour. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wasn't ever in the audience for that to aspire to be. I mean, I was at home watching TV, sitting in the splits, watching Fame. I wanted to be in that TV show, and I'd never gone there. But so I can understand that, but no, I wasn't consciously aware, probably until the Velvet Rope, because I think I got to free my mind from stuff and realize that what we do actually does, affect people and inspire people to want to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
And that's what's so amazing about the Janet documentary that even just came out, and they kept using the word blueprint. And when I think about like the tours you were creating at that time, that is what we're seeing today. And that's what we're still creating, even on the tours that we work on. It is the blueprint that you created when you guys were creating those tours with the dancers and telling the story and being theatrical in moments, and then just really celebrating dance in other moments and being pop in other moments. And that I kept hearing the word blueprint, and that was such a good, I think, word for what the work that you created at that time that is still very much, lasting.
Nick and RJ, what did you actually think? You brought up the Janet documentary. Like, what was it like? Did you guys obviously watch all of it? And what was your takeaway from it?
Yeah, we watched it, and I thought, I love seeing Janet celebrated because she is the blueprint. She's incredible, and she's a pioneer still. And then I love seeing the footage that I felt like we were getting a peek into the behind the scenes, and like seeing you. I think you went to Hawaii with her, Tina, and you guys were talking about creative ideas. Just all of that was such a glimpse into all, and just a fraction of what it takes to get to where Janet pushed her career. And so I thought it was extraordinary to see. I mean, it's like really could have been a series that lasted it for a year, but for those few episodes, it was wonderful to be reminded, and to continue to celebrate Janet and the ways that she's inspired all of us.
RJ, did you ever dance with Janet? Like, I
never danced with Janet. No, I'm on the outside of the circle here. That's why I'm the real fan.
But he came.
That's why I'm the real fan, because I'm on the outside, but I've seen all.
He came to the Hollywood Bowl and saw me and Tina dance together. But I got to stand just like off of Tina's shoulder for the.
That moment was so epic
for the Hollywood Bowl reunion, and it was epic.
It was so incredible.
So much fun.
Amazing. Yeah. I think for everyone, I think for the fans, but also for us on stage.
Yeah, it's really special.
It really was. And it's like, you can't put, I can't really put words that would allow anyone to know what was going through all of us, but it was just this, I don't know, maybe you have words, Nick, but it was just almost like this electricity that, it was an electricity that connected us all. Weird. We'd be on stage going, you know what it was? It was like a reunion where you go, I know we're all related here, but now who's your dad and how are we related to this person and who's your,
right.
That's kind of what it felt like. And it really kind of made me understand how we all become family to Janet, because that's, she goes from here to here to here with whatever era it is, whatever group of people.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the tour changes and the dancers change, but her idea of family and gatherings and all of that is shared equally, I think, throughout the tours.
Yeah.
Every group that she has the same way.
Yeah.
I love that.
For sure. And it was, I think electricity is the perfect word. And because we were doing Rhythm Nation, it was like, we literally became the Rhythm Nation in that moment. Like, I was like, this is what the Rhythm Nation is. And I can't believe I'm on, because that was another video I watched, from the farm at my friend's house that I just stupefied. And it's a surreal moment,
Yeah, and I got to actually watch it. And so I'm going to tell you, Janet, we all know this, she hires the best dancers. So to see that many incredible dancers from really quite an impressive legacy too, like to see everybody on stage together, that's the electricity, because it was so much talent. And then to be celebrated, it's like everybody got to be celebrated individually, but was also celebrating a whole together of being a part of that Janet family. And I think it was really, really special and incredible.
Yeah. I think one of the things from the documentary that stood out to me, like Nick, you had brought up that when we went to Hawaii,
Yeah.
and there's something that was, it's like so awesome and yet so sad because it's like we don't get to experience that with all the artists that that we've worked with a lot of the same artists, but we don't get to go to Hawaii and listen to a track that's being made and
Right.
or to get an idea. Like I felt like that was such luxury for me to have that because I like to take a long time to really think about a concept and think about how to approach this music. And and with Janet was easy, especially Velvet Rope, because every song was so different that you got to pull out different flavors. You never got bored. But
And you feel that that shows in the creative, and still that's why that tour is still so celebrated, because you really feel the ride and the emotion and the heart of each song. Because that's, for me too, that's also choreographically, like, great steps are amazing, but then you always imagine, well, what else behind this song or this lyric, or what's the intention that really connects it with its audience in even a bigger way. And Velvet Rope was exactly that.
Well, and I see that in your guys' work. I mean, I love forgive me, my head is all over the place, but it's the pink one where it was all modern.
Oh yeah.
What was that?
That was her Try, and that was like one of our first. No, that was our first job with her. And she really wanted to try something different, and that was kind of before like the Sia and all the contemporary dance started happening in music videos. So it was really different.
Yeah.
And she was just so down, and she's just another one that's very special, and she really wants everything to have a meaning other than just like doing it to do it. So
you can in that, you know what I mean? It was like, I don't know. I mean, you can just throw. There's a lot of artists out there who will say, "Oh, like so and so is going to do this. I want to do it before them." So you know what I mean. But it wasn't that. It was truly like you guys got her. Plus, I've worked with her before, so I know she's a workhorse. She really wants to. But the way that she was able to encompass your work, and it just looked flawless. And that was a video that I was like, oh, like I would have loved to have been in that, like, or you know what I mean, or learn it, because I don't get to do a lot of contemporary, and there's some that I'm like, I just don't get. Like I don't understand that move. But like this song, and it made you. There's not a lot that makes me want to learn.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of them. I'm like, oh
wow, what an honor.
Oh, thank
you. No, she's incredible. And artists are also like muses. Like, depending on who you're working with, they're going to inspire the creator in a way, because she's the only person that could do that. And like Janet's the only person that could do, you know what I mean? So I think you also really get inspired by your artist that you're working with, and how far they want to take their performances and creative. So
absolutely.
Yeah, we love that collaboration. That's why it's fun to have artists or longer relationship with artists, where you can really develop something like you're talking about with Hawaii, or like, I don't know, it's nice because then you really get to build a synergy. And I think that's a lot of times when we get our more like realized work, if you know what I mean, like something that really feels like we got to pour ourselves into it and kind of like chip away at it together. And when you have that synergy with an artist, I think it does make a difference.
And it's rare. Like we're so lucky that we've got to experience that, because it's very rare, and there are only a few artists that.
And especially nowadays, because it's like, with social media, with the internet, they don't want to get boring. They want to do something different every time, and they're moving so fast that sometimes I think that the artists themselves don't realize how special it is when you do have that relationship and you understand who they are. You get to understand how their body moves and works, what looks good on them, what doesn't. And that takes time. And
it does.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it was very.
It's investment, honestly, Tina. It's, as you know, like it's an investment on both parts to really like build that relationship and that foundation. So it is special when you get to have that, and I think that we're all fortunate to have experienced that in our careers,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you guys approach working with like a Pink differently than you would with a Katy Perry kind of thing? Like, do you how do you guys get to know your artists and then produce?
Katie is what she taught us was to not take things so seriously,
which is a really big lesson.
Which was hard because
we very serious.
We came from, the Rhythm Nation where everything's perfect. And she's like, you know what? I want to have fun. I want my audience to have fun. I want to be irreverent. I want to be vibrant. And that, it was like jolting because we had to really rethink our creative process. And that was awesome because then that really made us evolve as creators and as artists. And what is fun, or what is this, how can we create a moment that is like a Left Shark moment, that it is just about people having fun and the audience having a good time and it being really accessible so that the audience feels like they're a part of it versus, the performance that feels so flawless, you're just in awe of. So it was a totally different approach. And we learned so much with her on that ride because she wanted to color outside the lines a little bit. And that made it really fun for us to do.
But what you guys were able to capture was that you had the fun element, but you still had the synchronicity, and you still had your routines are still clean, right?
Yeah.
To make
hopefully on a good day, Tina, some of those shows you hadn't seen them in a couple of weeks or months, but we hope so. But you're right, we still have that aesthetic for sure. That's kind of part, I think, of something that we all resonate with,
And then with Pink, it's funny you say that because she's such a rocker at heart as well. Sometimes she doesn't want things to be clean and she wants things to be a little bit more free. So instead of everybody doing this, there's this, so. That also taught us to color outside the lines, I guess, in those ways too, which has been really fun. But of course, we love synchronized, strong.
Well, I think you guys just did a really nice blend so that you didn't throw everything out the window, right? And just let her do her thing and whatever. It's like you found a way for the artist to have their feelings be expressed. And yet without it hurting your creativity. It's almost like you found that nice blend, okay, I understand what you want. I know what the show needs. Yeah. And sometimes artists will fight you on that, right? Because they're, and it's no, I do hear what you're saying. Let me just follow, this is our process. We can always rip it apart afterwards. So I think you guys found a really nice blend with what you do. And because Katie is fun, she's just she doesn't take herself serious. She's kind of goofy. So you kind of wait to see what she's going to do. If she's going to wear fruit on her head or.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But there's always something that's a little bit comical, but yet it's a very entertaining number to watch,
Yeah. And, to your point, Tina, and my instinct tells me you're kind of like us, we actually want to collaborate with our artists in that way. We want to help them make the best version of how they see themselves or how they want to come across. So actually we're creating, and we do get to put ourselves into it. That's the fun part. And that's what I mean by collaboration. It's not like we do exactly what they want, but we also don't like forcing things or trying to put artists in a certain mold that's not them. It's exciting for us to be okay, that's what you want. Oh, then how do we bring that to life? And what colors do we put in with that? If that makes sense. I think you're the same way. And that's part of I think even our lasting success, because now we see that maybe even as choreographers, that it's not always the longest career and that we've been able to be around for a while. And I think that that's a big part of it. It's just listening and collaborating and really wanting to bring their vision to life as well. Whether even it's producers or whoever you're working with, you always have to, in our industry where we're at, you always have to have
collaboration
people.
is so important. And I think for aspiring choreographers, they don't necessarily know yet, but just how important, and you're a piece of the whole, and the collaboration is everything because there are so many great ideas. You always want to be open to taking those in and then making the best product. Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. I feel the same way. It's and that's why it's so important sometimes for me to know the person and to listen. What are they thinking about? What is their message? Mm-hmm. And then, you also, and it's important because we've seen maybe some of the same artists that we have worked with in the past when they've worked with other people, something doesn't look right. And it's not to say that choreographer wasn't good. It's just that they didn't take the time to go, that move doesn't work for that person, right? But doesn't work for that artists, even though and sometimes that's hard when your artist really wants to do something. You're like, I don't think that's really what you want to do.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to mold it, and like, because we do want the best for them, and it's not us, right? It's not like, hey, my name's on this, it has to look a certain way. It's like, no, this is your career.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the one that ruins it for you. I want it to be great.
Yes,
exactly. Yeah, you want to exalt whoever it is you're working with.
Exactly.
500%.
Hey, it's Kelly, and thanks so much for watching our interview with Nick and RJ. They are fantastic choreographers, and we are so thrilled to have them on the show. And we're very excited because our Just Dance series is now available for the first time on YouTube. So please like and subscribe. We really appreciate your support. And now, back to the interview. How did you guys actually, Nick and RJ, I don't think we've ever talked about this before. How did you guys actually meet? Was it on a music video? And how did you know you'd be good together as partners in life and partners in a business? Because
it's so much partnering over here.
It sounds so glamorous, meeting on a music video, but it wasn't that glamorous.
We both were hired as dancers for the premiere of a Disney film, and they premiered it at the Hollywood Bowl. And so we were like 2 of 50 dancers, and we were doing every performance from Aladdin to Fantasia. And so we'd go to catering and take our heads off. And
we'd have our little trays and sit by each other. Yeah. That was kind of our meet cute. It was on a job. You're totally right about that, Kelly. It was just more like a Disney extravaganza, if you will. We played seaweed and spoons and forks and flying carpets and just like all of the things. And then we ended up just kind of.
And then after that.
But that was early on in our dance careers, Kelly. So after that is when we started getting tours, and I danced on Broadway, and that's what Nick was going to start to tell you.
I was going to say RJ went and did the Broadway thing, and then I started doing promo tours, and so we were always pulled apart as dancers. And as we know, dance for drama, we didn't have cell phones. So if you're overseas, forget it. Like, no internet.
We had our pagers. We were paging each other, maybe
143, the page.
I love you.
But so we were always on different coasts and continents. And then finally, as we started to transition, we said, why don't we try to work together? Because also it feels good when you're getting into choreography to have someone else and feel like, okay, we got each other, we can take this on. And so that was kind of the genesis of us.
And just to see each other, because we felt like we were always apart from always working on different jobs in different countries. And we're like, oh, if we work together, then we get to see each other. And I have to be honest, our first real job together was the Britney Spears VMAs. That maybe was the one where around the time she shaved her head, but even though that didn't go great, we still decided to work together, and that was a true testament.
That was our big splash.
That was our big splash.
RJ had already started choreographing, so he did some choreography for Madonna. That was one of his first choreography projects. And then the Britney thing came up, and they called me to do it, and I was like, well, RJ, I can't do this without you, because there was just a lot going on, and so that was our first duo splash.
But we really like working together and being collaborative, and it has worked out pretty awesome, because now we just get to like have such a really special creative synergy that I feel like very few people have. And I wouldn't say that we get along any better or worse than any married couple. So I don't think it affects us that way. I think we're just like everybody else in that respect, where we love each other a lot, and I'm sure sometimes.
And if we would fight about work stuff, it's because it's honestly, I'd be like, we're both so passionate about making this so amazing that we're fighting over how amazing it can be. So often our fights were about that.
But we didn't even really, that's also something we worked through. I don't even really feel like we fight.
No, it would be more like we were just, passionate creators and like, oh, but wouldn't this be amazing? And often we were saying the same thing. So that's the funny part.
We found our way a lot as we matured in our voices, like as creators, and about working together, of course, and just like all relationships. We've even got better at being married, I think, and communicating in that way. I think that's just one of the benefits of actually growing older. Even though people complain about it, there are some really beautiful things that now we like work together and love together and communicate not only with each other, but with everybody, and just much more.
Yeah, you have more of a knowing.
Yeah, much more open way.
That knowing is such a good place to start from,
Yeah, that is so lovely and so awesome to hear. But I have to ask, because
controversy.
Yeah, well, my husband and I are both very passionate in very different ways, right? So that's why we'll never do a reality show together, because I just don't want that side of me to come out because he loves to bring it out of me. He drives me crazy because we're so different. So that's what I was gonna. So
drives him crazy.
I don't have a lot of brain like bandwidth, so I will work really hard, and then I don't want to talk about it. Don't talk to me about it. Don't play the song.
Yeah.
Have an idea, zip it. And my husband like doesn't turn anything off ever. Like he will just drive it into the ground. Even when he's writing a song, he's like, he's got one verse and he's like, can I play it for you? I'm like, yeah. And I hear it once. I'm like, that's great, honey. Well, okay. Well, like, do you want to hear it again? I'm like, yeah, I've got 2 minutes. Like, play it again. He'll sing. Because to me, it's like, you got one verse. Go finish the song.
Yeah.
So for us, that's our, you know, the opposites for us is that I need peace and I need quiet. I need to step completely away, and he doesn't. So what is it with you two? What sets each other off, or what makes you guys different from one another? Like what causes the problems?
I think we should both answer, and I hope
I think we're both the same. Also,
we are the same,
and that we can like sometimes I'll keep talking about something and it's like 11 and we're in bed and RJ's like, yeah, let's just talk about that idea tomorrow.
I will say that
table
sometimes.
that for tomorrow because it's bedtime. Or in the morning, RJ's like going and I'm like, I need coffee, so let's table it until I have my coffee.
Yeah, exactly. That can happen.
But it is great. We're so productive in the sense that because we work together, we're always able to talk about ideas, or he's like typing up a set list while I'm pulling wardrobe looks. So it really is a great synergy because we're able to get so much done.
We get a lot done together
between the two of us that I could never handle on my own. So and it's also great having a sounding board. Like, well, what do you think of this? Because also having another person to bounce ideas off of. Then we always go to our meetings and feel super confident. Like if we both like the idea, then we're like, okay, we feel really confident now.
For sure.
When we talk about it to other people.
For sure. I think everything that Nick said is true. And I also, to answer your question, Tina, you know what I would tell you? I would say that like when I get inspiration, I go really fast. Like my inspiration comes fast and I want to get it out as fast as I can. Like usually people almost around me can't keep up with me. And Nick,
he's so fast.
And
I'm the person that could have, like when we first started, I could have spent an hour on one 8 count.
Totally.
And this guy in an hour already has the routine.
I want to do the whole routine.
He's like, this is the staging. This is when this shifts. This is when the next people come on. So I would be like, oh.
But then I want to go back and take my time with it. But I want to, in the beginning, I want to go real fast and like get like a whole, like I just like, that's like how it usually comes to me. So I would say that's where we like creatively bumped up a little bit or just had to find our flow together. But now we know just like we're totally in flow.
But it's great because whereas I like to be super detail focused, he is always big picture. And that's an awesome.
Yeah.
So it's so helpful. It's so helpful because then after I've like done an outline for whatever the performance is, then he's going to go back in and be like, yeah, but we should do this over here. And like all the details, like Nick gets like all that done in such amazing ways. So I think to your question too, we found ways to work with our strengths together so that they support each other, rather than working against each other. We're like, oh, you're good at this and I see things this way. Okay, great. And we've really like found our flow together so that really we're supporting each other's strengths now, Yeah.
And that doesn't surprise me just because of both of your personalities. Like you guys are just always so easy. Like that's the feel that I get from you. I've always gotten from both of you is just even keeled, easy. And so it would have surprised me if you said that it was more like this when you work together. So I just had to confirm. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure that they and worked out. That's neat. That's
our new motto, Tina, like when we do anything,
this is everything to us
right now we're just like, let's have fun.
Like I just want to have fun on everything. Like life, I'm realizing now, it's like really like, why not just enjoy it? Like these moments are incredible that we're getting to live. So sometimes when things are stressful, he'll be like, remember 2 weeks ago when you told me let's just have fun? I'll be like, oh yeah, it's totally okay. Like
so we try to circle back to that when like really stressful or crazy.
Because it does get that way. It does.
Now we know it always works out. It always happens for the reason it's happening. So now we flow with it more.
For sure.
And that's another nice part about maturing is just knowing it's going to work out, calm down.
Yeah.
And have fun.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to
go ahead, T. Go.
I was just going to say I'm going to steal their motto because
we're
into some projects, but I think sometimes I sabotage myself because I already know or, you know, like the pre-talk prior with all the business people can get kind of weird and funky and put you in a mood. And
Yeah,
then you try to walk in pretending that that didn't happen and fresh. And it's just like, you know, I'm wearing like a white jacket that I can't get off.
yeah.
And so, yeah. And Jason and I sometimes we'll try, but we both kind of get irritated about the same things at the same time. So it's really hard for us to get each other out of that mood. So,
you know what else we've been doing, Tina? And this is not easy, but I'm gonna be totally honest with you. But we've just decided that like everything that happens, because I know you have the same thing, but on projects, there's like maybe about 1,000,001 things in a day that you can bump up against and be like, that's not what I thought, or I don't think that's the best for this project, or like, why are they thinking that? But I realized like all those little things, like I just tell Nick, I'm like, it's just the universe guiding us to like the best possible solution. So we're still going to get there. And so now like, that's my motto. Like when I'm just kind of like this, but then I'm like, you know what? It's just the universe. It's guiding me like in the best direction. I'm just going to like find a different path. And that's like really helped us just like flow with it, because I mean, there's like, nobody knows what we know. That's the thing about being a dancer first, is like our brains are so much faster.
We already see
the whole thing.
You see it, and the other people don't.
They don't see it yet. They just don't see it.
Right.
That's part of like, we already have the knowing of how spectacular and amazing it's going to be, and it's catching everybody up slowly to that vision, you know.
Right. That's why I'm like, okay, we'll just like find the way around that. You got that, no problem. And then we just like keep going with it. Like that's like our new thing. That's part of like the way I can make it fun, because I can get really upset when I don't think the things are like turning out or like shaping up the way that I think that, because really, like you just said, we just want the best for every project. We want it to be the best it can possibly be. So like, if we feel like it's derailing or going off tracks, like it can be really, it's emotional for us. And I know it is for you too. Like it's an emotional thing. And so like finding ways to like also deal with that and realize like, okay, we do this because when we were kids, we couldn't not do it. We loved it so much and it was the most fun thing. So how do we make it feel as much like that as possible? And like, that's what we're like working on right now. It's not, we don't achieve that all the time, but like, that's what we're really working on in our careers. Cause it like can be that great. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to say the same things, whether I'm like stressed out or not.
We also find on set that the more we can inspire that feeling,
totally,
then everybody from the DP to the EIC to the caterers, whoever it is, when they feel that energy, they become down, and everybody wants to do their best.
Right.
Which, you know, in a lot of jobs, it's just another job, you know, and they just show up to like punch in and do the job. But as much as we can get everyone kind of feeling the magic, or, you know, we're like, let's get everybody excited about it so they feel like this is something special. And then like on our last job, it felt so like everyone was so invested, so into it. You know, budget was like nothing, but everybody wanted to work the miracles to make it happen and see it to the finish line. So then that energy was just like contagious, you know? Yeah,
we're really excited, and I'm going to toot our horns, but Tina, we got to executive produce and direct our own special for ABC that, you know, that aired before the Oscars. So we were really excited because
I wanted to talk to you guys about that. That is that called Come Dance? Come Dance?
No, this is something separate. This is something separate from that. This is called Step Into the Movies with Derek and Julianne Hough. And so it's like a 1-hour special where we kind of celebrated all the movies that is like music videos inspired us, all the movies that inspired us dancers. So like Dirty Dancing and Singing in the Rain and, you know, all of the great
Saturday Night
films.
Fever. I mean, it was really like, are we really getting to do this right now? Because we ended up getting the rights to all these films. Moulin Rouge, we got to interview Baz Luhrmann at his hotel. I mean, we talked to Rob Marshall. We talked to Kenny Ortega for Dirty Dancing. So it literally was like a dancer's
Kevin Bacon
playground.
Did a little cameo. And like
we had Ariana DeBose perform Chicago for us.
And then she won the Oscar like just a couple of days later. So it was a really, really beautiful love letter to dance for us. You know, it would be like, it's like the movie version of you know, kind of our life.
It was like that moment we were just like, this is everything I've always dreamed of kind of coming together.
Yeah, because I kept seeing a couple of things on Instagram. I think one was Was it she in one of those or no? Am I confusing?
Jenna.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jenna was in Saturday
No,
Night
no, no.
Fever.
Honestly, Tina, it's confusing because Jenna's in both of them. So Jenna's in Come Dance With Me and Step Into the Movies. So it's very confusing. And we can't use her to differentiate. But she wasn't it. She wasn't it. She did the disco.
This show's on Hulu now. And Tina, of course, we would, just as somebody we respect and admire, we would love for you to see it just if you have time.
Absolutely.
Kelly, we want you to see it too, Kelly.
It's such a love letter to dance. So, and Kelly, of course. I'm assuming you already saw it, Kelly.
I saw the clips, but I was working that night, so I have to now find it somewhere and up here.
It's better on Hulu anyways, because you don't have,
It might even be on Disney Plus now, but anyways, that was really fun for us. But my point about that, Tina, is that like the more as dancers, I think that we get to have those empowered moments where we get to show not only all the different assets that we can like kind of take on, but also the energy we're talking about creating. Like that really did make a difference on the set. And it's like, we know as dancers that like we can make the impossible possible. We're always like making the costumes like just a minute before they go on stage, or like changing the choreography, or like redoing the staging, or no, the artist wants to walk to the left now. And it's like literally you're pushing dancers on stage. Like we deal with all these things all the time. So to be able to like oversee that on an even bigger scale and kind of really then inject some of these theories we're talking to you about onto the set did make such a beautiful difference into it. And I really feel like it made the magic of dance come alive, I guess is what I'm saying, is using those skills that we've always had as dancers and that we like nurtured when we were young kids. Like we're seeing them pay off in such bigger ways now than we even dreamed of when we were dancing in the grocery store and nobody was watching. You know what I mean?
That's what I wanted to ask you guys. I'm like, okay, so, there's always kind of like this transition from dancer to choreographer to director. But it's like, so it is the next step for you guys. I mean, you guys are executive directors. Like, what the heck? Like, were you thinking about that when you were at the farm? Were you thinking about that when you're at your mother's studio? I mean, of course we were, because at that age we were, there's nothing we can do and we can do everything. And then there's life kind of beats you down. You're like, okay, well, I'm in this box here. And everything looks so kind of, not unreachable, but sometimes, as a dancer, you're like, oh, like being a director is so far away, being a such a far step. And it's really just, nope, it's just the next step. I've been so long. It's just the next step. So what was that like for you guys? Because I know for me, when I get, a lot of times I find myself still in that director choreographer on the same job, which is really a lot, right? It's like,
it's a lot.
It's hard.
It's so much.
You one and not the other. It's like it's like the load is off. You can just put all your energy either into creating the dance or into creating the show and letting everybody do their jobs. But so I kind of envy people who get to just do the one thing, because I don't know why. It's just like something always happens where I'm like, oh my God, okay, I'll do it. Oh, what happened to pyro? Okay, I guess I'm calling pyro tonight. Like, what's happening? We're making the costumes, we're filling all those gaps. So what was it like for you guys to like executive produce now? Like, look at you guys. I'm so proud of you.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I mean, that's just been honestly so exciting. And it's kind of like what you're saying, like as dancers, you just want a job.
Yeah.
And then you start getting jobs, and then you want then you're like, okay, now I'm getting jobs. Now I want to dance with Janet, so your desire keeps growing. And then you realize like, okay, I kind of made that happen and I did it. And you're like, okay, can I do that with choreography? And then you kind of start, and then it starts happening with choreography the same way. And then you're like, okay, well, I did it with dance and I did it with choreography. I'm just going to assume, we can just start to assume, why can't we direct, or why can't we creative direct, where we're then, creative directing artists, performances, and then realizing all the stuff we were coming up with as creative directors empowered us to start asking for producer credit. So I feel like we did The Little Mermaid live with ABC, and we were coming up with conceptually how the show was being presented in a lot of ways.
But Tina, I'm gonna interrupt Nick and tell you that we also did have to put our foot down a couple times. So I don't want it to act like it was like we just asked and it was always easy. Like we did have to like own our space and say like, this is what we're doing and this is how we're showing up, and we need to be recognized in that way because it's important to us not only to be recognized, like I'm not even talking about money, but also credit, and just saying like, oh, for the work I'm doing, like I'm not just choreographing this, like that's somebody that comes and puts the steps together in a really beautiful way, but we're doing so much more. So keep going, Nick. But I also want to honor, because I hear a little bit of your experience, and I want to say like, that is part of the beauty of having our partnership, is because we could kind of go like this a little bit, and we would be like, hey, but like this is all the other work we're doing, and we need to be seen in that way. And we've been fortunate enough to work with people that not only saw us, but ended up seeing the work and uplifting us and giving us even more opportunities on how, like you are, how we deliver the work, which is, with all the integrity and heart and passion that we can,
Yeah. That's
so
very
fortunate. So fortunate. And then it was the pandemic, honestly.
Or the pandemic.
That we were in the middle of another project, and they kind of shifted gears and they said, hey, we just want to start creating content. This was on ABC, and that's when we kind of, worked with them and created the Disney Family Sing Along, which was singing Disney's biggest songs, the biggest celebrities. They did it from home because we couldn't go into homes yet because of COVID. And immediately we had something that was like huge and a hit with everyone, and because everyone was stuck at home. So just the fact that people could have a new show, and then that honestly, then boom, 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 things just started to spark producing wise. And then that's when we were able to pitch this dance show, and allowed us to be in this position to then say this would be
Come Dance With Me dance show.
Oh, this is
but we'll talk about that next. He needs to step into the movies.
But simultaneously, Come Dance With Me happened, and we got a phone call about this idea, and we met with this production company because our names had been given out, and honestly, that was just from relationships of working with people at the VMAs, and it was the producers of the VMAs that hooked us up with another production company. So that was a little seed. And we were like, what was it called?
Daddy Dancing.
And we were like, oh. But then we started, again, everything's a collaboration. So then, we all start talking about the ideas. And again, this was still during COVID when we shot this series, but it really was about because we've seen dance shows in every element, but this one spoke to us because it was about how transformational dance is.
Right.
And that whether you're a dancer or whether you're a non-dancer, dance can really heal you, connect you, allow you to express a side of yourself you've maybe never tapped into, or just like be something that bonds people in a huge way. And so these kids are given the opportunity to ask an important adult, which, because it was COVID, it was a parent, because they weren't really spending time with other people. So they each asked a parent to be their partner, and these parents are non-dancers, and so
the kids are like studio kids, and they live in the studio. They're fierce. They're like amazing young stars. The dancers
are amazing
all across the country,
and the parents are fish out of water. They've never danced before, so you really have this dynamic change of now the kid is the expert and the authority, and the parent has no idea what they're doing.
And so the kids are like putting the routines together, and like it's really, the show has so much heart, and like Nick said, like all those characteristics are what we wanted to infuse in the show. And I think that you see that because the relationships between the kids and the parents, from where they start to where they end, I mean, it's just incredible to see. Just like some of the kids like hadn't seen their dads because they work all the time, or just like all these different dynamics where they really get to build and strengthen their relationship.
Or the studio mom who works at the studio to pay for her daughter's dance because she can't afford it. Wow. And her daughters, and then we had this one mom in particular, it was her dream, but her mom couldn't afford it. So then she did everything to give it to her daughter. And now her daughter's like, and mom, now it's your turn. Now you get to be a dad. I know. So it is. It's so
all the feels.
It's so much beautiful.
There's tears every single week for sure. Like every episode, there's tears, and then there's even the mom that's kind of like the dance mom that's like critical and like telling her daughter, like before the show, like, oh, make sure you do this or hit this. And now she's in the studio and she has to learn the choreography. She's like, because it's not what you think.
And now her daughter's like, see, mom, like, you need to get it right.
So there's like all kinds of dynamics and all kinds of feels. And it's awesome because our music on the show is really great. We even got to use some Janet music. Okay. But it's like, we're really excited about the music and like really just the heart of the show, because it's what we talked about as kids, how much we love dance. And we keep coming back to this, but these kids all are at the prime age, Tina, that we were talking about at the beginning of the Zoom, where they just love dance so much and they eat it up. And now they get to like invite their parents into the world. And I don't know, they have to do all styles too. So every parent has to learn everything from hip hop to jazz to contemporary to ballroom. And it's like, they get all the feels, but it's a boot camp for sure. And like, it's also like a weight loss competition. Like all the dads all of a sudden are like snooched by the end. And
every parent lost so much weight without even trying.
Not even trying.
Because they just started moving their bodies. And so you also see one mother always had migraines. And as soon as she started dancing, not one migraine throughout the course of the competition.
Yeah.
So they were just even seeing the power of dance and movement and how it does keep us healthier and younger longer.
Yeah.
And the parents were witnessing the magic of dance in that way. So that was also really cool.
Yeah. So that show, we're super excited. That premieres on CBS on April 15th. And so that's 10 episodes. So that should take us like right up to summertime. So I think it'll be great for families to tune into and just finish out the rest of the school year. But this is like for anybody that loves dance, anybody that loves great music and entertainment. And then also just like families, like the executives from CBS were excited because they were like, this is actually something that like our daughters will watch with us and we'll watch with them. Because it kind of like, there's the dads on there and there's the moms and there's like literally also what's great too now is that diversity is so celebrated. So it's like all ethnicities, all body types, like everybody is dancing on our stage. And by the end of it, everybody loves it. You know, like really everybody's into it. And it really shows you just that spirit of dance and the joy that it brings. So we're excited to we shot it a while ago, but just with COVID, it took a while to be ready to launch. So we're excited to share this one with the world.
Neat. I can't wait. It's nice when we get to be a part of something that actually is transformational and because we do it for we grew up differently and we did it for different reasons.
Yeah.
But like I said, people don't realize that like being able to express yourself this way, that how healing it can be. And probably just like you were saying, RJ, just the time that these parents and these kids get to spend together, it's just on a different level. They're not sitting there watching TV.
They're working on something together actually. And they're like learning something together and they're working with like incredible choreographers and like experiencing something that's like bigger than they ever imagined together. Like the first time they got on the stage, like with the lights and they were just like, oh, like, you know what I mean? And not just the kids, but the parents were the ones that were like, get out my big boy panties. Cause this is a moment, It's like, they've never been on any stage. And of course the kids feel it. And being on a TV set is so different because there's also 10 cameras. So you have jibs flying through and steady cams on stage. And like, so it's like heightened to the max, like the volume's turned all the way up for them. So the experience is almost surreal for them. And so go through it together. All of them were so bonded and we've got to keep in touch with a lot of them via like Instagram and stuff.
It's funny because all the little kids are still friends and all the parents are friends and they all still meet up and go to conventions together. Like it really impacted them in a profound way, which of course is the intention,
And what's beautiful is the show became not just, it's really not about like who's the best dancer, but also like who's the best like team. You know what I mean? Like who's showing up together and who's not just like executing technique. Cause the parents, although they did get better, they only go so far technically, but like who's showing up and who's doing the emotion of it or who's giving like texture or musicality or like who's really learning some of the nuances that we would actually look for. And like, how is that coming to life? And so you look at it through a whole different thing. And it's amazing because like we've already got to celebrate World of Dance and like the best dancers in the world. Like we saw that. And then on this show, it's more like who's showing up for dance like in that way and also like teammates. And it's really beautiful to see their journeys together.
It's funny because I know that, it's two different worlds, but you said who's showing up for each other, right? Who are team. And for me, I feel like, that's kind of what happens when you're on tour, right? When you've experienced, whether it's Broadway or whether you're on tour with Christina or Janet, it's like, those are the shows to me that are successful is when you are vibing with the person next to you. You're not just dancing for yourself. You're not dancing for the artist, but you have that bond on stage where it's like, I'm going to be as good as I can to make you look as good as you can so we can make the artists look as good as they can. And it's like, people don't understand, like, even though you're, the contestants on your show weren't professional, it's the same thing. It's the same. at the end of it all that makes all these performances stand out from one another, right? And you watch videos and you're like, yeah, I saw the day. Or you watch a show, you're like, yeah, that was okay, but there was something missing. And it's usually that thing, right? That's transformational, that lives in us, that helps us be not just the best person we can be for ourselves, but for everybody else around us.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%. And when we were first meeting with the show, we were talking to LL Cool J, who's one of the executive producers as well. And
Yeah.
he was just also coming from the place of we've seen perfection on stage, and what people really relate or respond to is seeing the process, like
Seeing it real,
seeing the work
authenticity
that it takes. And if somebody messes up, it's okay, but seeing that they're showing up and putting that effort in, he's like, is really, you know, special to people, and that they get to relate to the kind of the journey versus just a finished shiny glossy product.
But wait until y'all see when the kids come into the studio and realize, like, they love this, right? They're like, yes, I want to do the show. I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to dance. And they show up to the first rehearsal and they're with their parents and they're like, it's like a record scratch. Cause you know what I mean? They're used to competition. They're like whipping out the pirouettes and the jumps.
It's like,
and
you're not doing the 3 pirouettes.
You're like, mom can't hang.
It's like you're with
You
your
know?
mom, making sure she has the right arm at the right time.
But it's exactly your point. It's because the ones that showed up and danced together and had a relationship on stage, those are the teams that like really thrived and flowed to the top. And everybody ultimately did, but it's those teams with that heart that really we saw like shine so much. But really, that's what made the show so hard. I have to be honest, is that like by the end of the second week, you haven't even started taping the show yet, and you're already in love with every single person. So there was never a week where we were like, there was never a clear, like, oh my gosh, this person should go home this week. It was always like every week we were on the edge of our seats, like, who is going to go home? Because we never knew, and we loved them all so much. And the judges had so many surprises for us, because it wasn't like, I don't know. I think
we couldn't guess. Like we would think we would know every week how the results would turn out. And every week we were like,
because I think some of the other dance competition shows, you kind of see like clear front runners, because it is so much about showmanship and like technique. And like this show, it's like the heart and the tears and the emotion. It's like, you just don't know what's going to happen when they get on stage. Like, is mom going to pull it out? Like some weeks they did, or some weeks it was like, you know, so it's just, you never knew. And it's really like a really, I think, an exciting journey that way that I've just relived with you here in a brief moment on the Zoom, but we are that excited about it for sure. It's going to be a really special show.
I love it. I'm so excited for you guys. This is really neat. I can't wait to see it.
I can't believe we're almost out of time, but guys, I wanted to ask you, is there anything you can tell us? Obviously, Come Dance With Me is coming up. What else is on the horizon for this year? Do you know? Can you say anything?
Oh, well, we just had a meeting with Pink today, because she is headlining Bottle Rock, which is an amazing music festival in Napa.
Yeah.
So,
you know, wine bottles, Bottle Rock, who doesn't want to be there? It's everyone's favorite festival. She called the right people.
we're like so excited for the music, and then so excited for the wine.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our next endeavor. And again, it's like, let's have a great time.
That sounds
and give the audience a treat. So we're super excited about
that's next up on the slate, and we're developing some more TV specials, and also, you know, some films that we're looking to direct as well. So we have a lot of things that a lot of seeds we're planting and hoping to, you know, continue just to like one foot in front of the other, just like have fun with it and see where life takes us.
And you know, Rob Marshall, he said a great thing on our show. He said during dark times or the Depression is when musicals and dance became so appreciated, and because people need the escape. And so we just keep hearing like people need that. People need the entertainment, they need the dance, they need the music, and they need that escape right now, you know, now more than ever.
So do you guys see, I know we have to wrap it up, Kelly. One last question.
Go.
We're going to talk all night with Tina. We'll be here. The wine's going to come out soon. Forget about it. It's just like the Zoom's over. We can't stop.
Are you guys still at the place in your lives and your careers where choreography is still your heart, or do you feel like you're probably at the point where it's like, yeah, I will always love it, we'll always do it, but really we're going more towards directing, executive producing, executive directing, but wearing that hat more? Do you guys see yourselves heading that way right now?
I think so. In all honesty, Tina, I really think that's like really fun for us just to do new things and express ourselves in new ways. We do imagine like, let's say in our most idealized world and we're like directing a movie musical, we would want to choreograph that and oversee the whole thing of it. But like, we're not as much like, necessarily just choreographing like on the gig basis, like gig by gig, if that makes sense.
Because you're right, it's a lot of work to direct, and it's a lot of work because the choreographers, you need those 8 hours to flesh out your routine. And when we're putting a show together, we need the 8 hours to talk to every department and pop into the choreography department and say, is this going right? How does this look? Give advice to the choreographers, but then also go back to all the other meetings because there's so much happening at one time.
We had a team of 5 choreographers on our step into the movies. We worked with 5 other people to help us bring it to life. And like, we really ultimately directed those and like worked with them, and we would come into the studio, but it's like, we got to nurture and choreograph in a way, meaning like we understood how the number should play out and what elements it should be, but we weren't necessarily like making up all the steps unless we were really inspired and wanted to jump up and, make sure our back was okay afterwards, to be totally honest.
Yeah, we like if everything's a pie, it's like choreography is of course a great piece of it, but we just honestly we're like obsessed with overseeing the entire creative production.
Yeah, I get that completely. Yeah. Well, I just thank you guys, and I love you so much, and I'm so
both of you
for all of your success, because you guys are truly, truly just sweetie pies. Like, I wish I could just put my face. Like, really, I love when good things happen to good people, and you guys deserve all the success that you've had. And I really can't wait to see all the stuff you're going to create.
Thank you so much. And thank you, both of you. And Tina, just know that like, if RJ and I would have been told as dancers that this moment would have happened, like we would have like never believed it. So like for us, it's just another moment of being awake in your dream and being like, wow, like, I am living the dream because this is happening. So thank you.
And thanks, Kelly, for giving us a platform, all the talk, and just for a space for dance to be celebrated. We really appreciate it. And
I appreciate you guys, and you're welcome back on the show anytime. And I just want to put out that people can follow you on your Instagram account, which is at Nick and RJ Official. So make sure to do that. And thanks so much for hanging out with us on Just Dance.
We appreciate you all.
Thank you so much.
Hey, it's Kelly Alexander, and thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Kelly Alexander Show, so you are the first in line for all the cool content coming your way.